All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. It is May 24th, 2023, and I want to talk to you about 6 things that you need to keep in mind as you realize life is just zipping by faster than you would like. It's quite sobering. You might be bothered by it. It's normal. It happens to everybody. It's inevitable, and if you don't feel that way yet, it's because you're very young, but it will occur. And there are these things that you need to remember in order to cope. So I'm just aiming at showing you that there is a healthy way of approaching this. You have to be thoughtful. You have to be mindful. And I think if you give it a go, it'll make a big difference. Now, the driving force behind this video is the fact that there are 2 people in my life who are having a very big day. Okay? One of them is my youngest daughter. She's graduating from high school. And the second is my youngest brother is turning 50. Okay, so let me make my remarks on that. My youngest daughter is an international baccalaureate, and if you have any children that are in that, you'll know that it's very tough. Okay, even for the best of them. I mean, I guess there are probably some kids that breeze by, but I think most of them they're stressing out. You know, and they tell you when you go into it that your child's going to have a really hard time the first year. The second year it gets a little bit better. But it's going to make college feel and seem that much easier when they arrive. And I hope they're correct about that, because sometimes I felt like it was just too much work all the time, 7 days a week, all around the clock. But my daughter did it, and it's been tough, but I'm really, really proud of her. I'm excited to see where she's going to go in life, and so I want to say congratulations, Tate, on graduating. I love you, and I wish the best for you. Now, where my brother is concerned, turning 50, you see there's 4 boys in our family and 1 sister. And now this puts all of us boys in our 50s. Okay, my oldest brother is 58. I have one younger than him, but older than me. That's going to be 57. I'll be 53 in a month. And so my youngest brother just turned 50, so that puts all of us in our 50s, and boy, that's kind of a big deal. First of all, it's kind of a big deal turning 50 anyway, right? But to think that all of us are now all of us are in our 50s is just kind of crazy. And here's the thing, I actually enjoy my 50s quite a bit, and I hope my youngest brother does too. I think he will. It's actually, to me, it's a good time of life so far. But you know, I saw him for the first time in person. For many years had passed since I had seen him, and a couple of months ago when I saw him, I was like, "Wow!" You know, I still think it made me realize I still think of him as being in his 20s, because we used to work together, painting houses and stuff like that, and he doesn't look old. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he's like a man. You know. I know it's crazy, right? It was really sobering to me, and it just makes you feel like so much time has passed. Where did it go? And so, happy birthday, Clayton! I love you, man. I'm proud of you, and I'm just so excited to be able to see how life is going to turn out for you from here on out, and. It's not like he's graduating. I know it made it sound like that, but life is always evolving, right? Life is always changing. And it's oftentimes what you make of it. And this is where I want to start making my points with you, is that you're going to feel like, when you get to this stage of life, you're going to start looking back, and you're going to be thinking, what did I do with my time? Where did it all go? Did I take it for granted? Did I do enough? Did I show enough love? Did I spend enough time with these people? Or could I have done more? All these things will go through your mind. And if you're not careful, it will cripple you. And there are people who start thinking about this, and they go home every day from their jobs, and they sit in front of the television and stuff their face full with a bag full of potato chips. They go to work, and they're dark circles under their eyes because they're staying awake at night thinking about this stuff, and they start to lose focus, and they start to lose direction. And it doesn't have to be that way. Now, usually this occurs for a period of time, and you get over it and things get better. And there are other people who just never come out of it, okay? Chances are that will not be you, but it could happen. And regardless of where you are, regardless of how you relate to this, I want you to know there are 6 ways of thinking about this that will make a huge difference, okay? So listen carefully, okay? Listen carefully, because this is going to count, all right? So the first thing I want you to remember is that time did not pass as quickly as you think it did. As you look back over the years, as I think about my children, my youngest daughter graduating, I still have a youngest son that'll graduate in 2 years. I already had 2 that graduated, and it just seems to be ticking by like that, right? And you go, wow, I felt like just yesterday she was a little girl, you know, and she's wearing these cute little dresses, and she had smeared her mother's makeup all over her face. I have a picture of it. I'll see if I can find it. But she was just, I mean, she was a little baby doll, you know? And I think the same thing about all of my kids. And when it comes to these turning points, these big moments in their life, it's a big moment for you too, as well as it is for them. And you think to yourself, time just flew by. Well, I want you to understand something. Time didn't go by as quickly as you thought it did. We remember things in lump sums, and we just mash them all together in our mind. It just makes us feel like it was a very short, brief time, but it really wasn't. It really wasn't. So keep in mind, life is not passing you by as fast as you think it is, okay? And it's probably good that you don't remember every moment, okay? If you could, you would feel like it was a long time, but thank God that you don't remember everything. And every point I make here is going to kind of pour into the next. So this is the second thing I want you to understand, is that your memory doesn't always serve you well, which I've kind of hit on here already. But I've read books on this. Our memory, we don't have a very good recall. Most of us don't. We'd like to think that we do. And there are some people that obviously are more gifted or more cursed, depending on how you think about that. But our memory does not always serve us well. So if you're looking back and you're having regrets, it could be that your memory is lying to you. Okay, keep that in mind, because you can't remember every aspect, every facet, every detail of everything that ever went down in your life in a way that will make sense and bring rationalization to the things that are disturbing you. And if you could recall with perfect memory, you'd have a little more understanding and patience with yourself and the people in your life. So understanding your memory does not always serve you well. Don't rely upon it to gauge how you should feel about your life looking back, okay, or as time has passed. Don't rely upon your memory, because it's not very accurate. The third thing you need to remember is life has not passed you by. In other words, life is not over with for you. Okay, that's how we often feel when we see these things. Like, well, like for instance, with my youngest daughter, you look at these moments and go, "Wow, okay, now she's living her life. Well, my life is pretty much over with." No, it's not. Life has not passed you by. You know, you're just on a different phase. Okay, just as well as she is, or whoever else. But your life is not over with. Just because something is happening for someone else, and it's a big deal, and you realize that there's this expanse of time that has just zipped by, doesn't mean it's over with for you, okay? You have a lot more ahead of you. In fact, you may have more time ahead of you than you realize. It's hard to think of that. We oftentimes live with a doomsday mindset that we've only got a certain amount of time left. You have no idea. And regardless of whether you have 5 years or 50 years, what matters is what you do with it, you know? Okay, so the fourth thing you need to keep in mind is you need to get back to living your purpose. You need to get back to living your purpose. People get stuck when they think about all this stuff, and they stop. They essentially step on the brakes really hard and come to a screeching halt. It's like I said before, they go home and stuff their face full of a bag of potato chips and watch TV, and they stop working out. They figure, well, I've lived my life. It's time for you to live yours now. And I guess I don't amount to much because looking back, I don't see a whole lot. You know, and they stop living their purpose. Chances are they've either really never thought about what their purpose was, or they didn't pin it down. If you have any questions about what your purpose is, think of it this way. It's whatever you're doing now. And I don't mean sitting on the sofa, watching TV, feeling sorry for yourself. I'm talking about the things that are considered your duty. It's the reason you get up in the morning. It's the reason you go to work. It's the people that you love. It's the capacity in which you serve. Somebody once said that the purpose of life is giving life purpose. And sometimes people talk about purpose in a very singular way. Well, my purpose in life is this. You have many purposes in life. And your purpose in life oftentimes mirrors whatever you're serving. It comes in the form of serving. And not just yourself. Get up every morning and identify why you go to work. Why you have certain friends that you do. Why you talk to them. Why you do anything you do. Start thinking about that. Why do I do these things? Those things are your purpose. Okay? It can get much deeper than this, but that's just a summary of it. So get back to living your purpose. Number 5, look back briefly. Only look back briefly. It's very easy to spend your time mulling over the years that have gone by. It's very easy to do that. And this is what hurts us. It pains us. And we think oftentimes that our memories are the only things that we have left. But you should, whether the memories that you have of your life are good or bad, only look back briefly. I'm not saying forget them. It is important to remember them. Whether you're looking back in regret or you're looking back in pride at what you've accomplished and the people around you have done, only look back briefly. Get on, get off. Because if you're looking back at something that is causing you pain, you're only abusing yourself. And regret can't do anything for you but cripple you and debilitate you. And even if you're looking back at the things that give you pleasure, it's like getting on the tilt-a-whirl. It's fun, but you can only ride it so long before it makes you sick, before it becomes kind of abusive in itself, because it stops you from moving forward. So when you look back, get on, get off. Consider them, ponder what you're thinking about, but don't stay there. And number 6, look forward anticipatingly. Think about what you want to do with your life from here on out. Watch videos on what older people do with their life. You'd be surprised at how full of purpose some people are, even in their 80s and 90s. I'm not saying you're there yet. I'm just saying that a lot of people are terrified to see any more time pass. And so they stop moving. But look forward anticipatingly. Think about what you want to do. And it doesn't have to be the same thing that you've always done. In fact, oftentimes it just can't be. And that's what bothers you. So find something that you can do as you move forward. For me, this is one of the reasons, just one of the many reasons why I do YouTube. I plan on doing this until I die. I'm doing this now so I have something to do when I retire. You see, I always want to have a purpose. So you need to think about looking forward anticipatingly instead of spending all your time looking back. Okay? So those are the 6 things that I hope you can really take to heart. Think about them. Don't sit around feeling sorry for yourself. Don't sit around just looking back. Just think about these. These are my thoughts of the day. And I'll leave you with that. All right? Once again, Tate, congratulations. I'm very proud of you. I love you. And Clayton, I love you too. I'm proud of who you've become. I'll catch you guys in the next one.